Hey, everybody. Welcome to this fun episode of Rambling Through Everyday Life with Fran and Angela. My name is Fran, and I am one of the co-hosts for this podcast. You guys, we've got a little different background music playing, little Disney music to set us up for the most fun, fabulous conversation, our Disney recap between Fran, Angela, and the beloved Susie Oliver. We love you guys. Sit back and enjoy the show. Okay, everybody. Well, I know the suspense is killing you, but if you follow us on Instagram, you know exactly what this episode is about. Angela, Susie, it's time to talk about Disney World.
And it's time to talk about Susie Said So is in the studio and went with us on the trip. And how have we ever done anything without her in our lives?
I don't know. She's a permanent fixture in so many ways. But here we are, everybody. The gang's back. And Susie is not telling us her top 10 recommendations for this, that, or the other unless it's tied to Disney World.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So before we left for our trip, I always, and I think I asked Fran this, I don't know if we talked about it, but when does a trip feel official? Like when you have all the anticipation and you know it's coming, like
it's real.
At what point? Because I kept saying the day before, or even in the car, maybe that morning, I can't believe we're doing this. Is this really happening? Pinch me. Is this real?
Yeah.
Is it finally here? At what point does a vacation feel official to you?
Either like when you start the travel experience, like for me when I pack, no, because even I'm a last minute packer. So if I'm packing the day before, it's not real at that point. I'm just packing. But the morning of, whenever you start the adventure of getting there, and then like that's like level one, but then take it up a notch to when you actually arrive wherever it is you're staying, not the airport, but there's something about the arrival of where you are going to be.
Like at the resort,
yes.
Or like driving through the gates?
At the resort.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh my God, we're really here.
Because they say, welcome home.
Welcome home. Who says that to us first? I don't even remember.
The man at the security guard shack.
Yes.
I don't even remember.
We went in the wrong entrance, or it looked a funky entrance, and he goes, "Welcome home." We're like, "Oh, okay."
They kept us so secure. They didn't trust the Uber driver, and they rolled down my window to speak directly to me and make sure.
That made me a little nervous because the queen of Disney is sitting between me and Susie, and we pull up, and Angela's like, "But this is not right."
And we don't care. We don't know.
No, I didn't know.
Well, they took us to the Riviera, but we were staying at Caribbean Beach, and then come to find out it was an old back entrance. So when our little driver, I don't think he spoke English because all of his things on his phone were in Spanish. And anyway, we made it.
Yeah. But that guy was precious. Our little entry welcome security guard guy.
Sweet man.
Welcome home.
Well, what about with you, Susie? When does a trip feel official? When do you feel like you're on vacation?
I think I really felt official as soon as I saw the gate when it said Walt Disney World. I was like, we're actually here. Because you always like, oh, is this flight going to make? Is my luggage? Are all the things going to happen? And then we went through the gate and the magic started right at that moment. There was like magic.
Even at the airport, when, let's back up a second, because we all had on our ears. At the airport.
Oh, that's right. And everyone was happy to see us with ears. That's true.
Yes, everybody was happy. But even then,
we were getting a lot of looks.
Yeah, and I didn't care. But it didn't feel even real then.
No.
I mean, I guess a part of it, but then you're just like, oh, yeah, okay.
We're just in Memphis wearing some Mickey ears. No big
deal.
And
I didn't even think about it. I would forget they were on, but it was a great way to find each other. Like, there's Fran. She's got ears. I love it.
Well, when I told y'all I obsessively Disney plan and I love it so much, but when the expiration date on the carton of milk falls within the trip itself, that's when I really get excited.
Yeah.
At some point along the way over the years, I was like, okay, the milk's going bad.
The milk's bad.
During or after our trip, it's almost here.
Yeah.
So that's just funny.
It was so fun.
It was so much fun. Okay, packing. We have to talk about packing for a minute.
Yeah.
Because one of the three of us was packed like 3 weeks in advance.
Not Fran.
Yes, yes. But then I keep adding. Like, I'm packed. And then I'm like, but what if it's warm? Let's throw those shorts in there.
Are you a list maker, or do you just do it all in your head?
I'm a day-by-day packer. Like, okay, this is Monday, this is what days and what's going to happen. So I do day by day and get that all out.
Okay.
And then if it's a last-minute thing, I make a list to make sure I don't forget it.
Susie also had these clear bags. We've seen them all over the internet, and I have yet to get one. And I know that you can find them in a lot of places, but you had those clear bags that say stuff. Do they all say stuff?
No, one says stuff, one says face, one says hair.
Yeah, y'all know what we're talking about. You can
So
see them because
cute.
they're in those puffy kind of letters, bright colors and stuff. And I'm like, I want that.
I'll need to get you a link because it was Amazon and you got like 4 for something cheap. I mean, you could go buy expensive ones or you could buy these cheap ones. So they work fine.
Okay, so give us the link for that because we'll share that in our Instagram stories.
What did we wear on our trip?
Oh my gosh.
Packing was so easy.
Oh my gosh, was it ever?
Because the queen herself gave us
Susie
specific
said
items of, okay, on this day we're wearing this. And not only here's what we're wearing, but I'm giving you the actual shirt.
Oh,
Incredibly kind.
I now deeply appreciate that part of the experience, just the gift of that, because that's stressful when you're thinking about what do I wear? And especially when it's somewhere that like I haven't been to in so long. And so I can't visualize, well, do I want pants? Do I want shorts? Do I want this kind of top? Am I okay in a t-shirt? Like, it was so helpful to have
I
that
might
done.
maybe have driven Angela crazy because I am like, because y'all, you didn't know I was coming.
No.
So that was the big surprise. And so I'm getting these shirts. I got them all folded, got everything done. And I'm like, but Angela, if we don't give them to her, she'll pack something else.
Well.
Maybe what if she goes and buys a shirt?
Oh,
I need her.
I
need her to have these things so that she knows she does it. All she has to do is throw in black leggings and she's set.
Yeah.
So I was a little,
Well, we are not as together as Susie is.
No, right.
Fran packed a day prior,
Yeah.
and I packed at like 8 p.m. the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about that with us.
We had that a week before we left.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, that was plenty of time. Oh my gosh. Yes.
I had piles and I had lists, but I did not have a packed bag until 10:01 p.m.
Oh my gosh.
It's fun.
It all worked.
It worked. Okay. The other thing I loved, in addition to Susie chauffeuring us there, is Susie already knew where we would park when we got there. And this is so genius. And I've never thought of this before. But you always park in the same section.
That's a Dub Oliver thing. He's like, park in the same section, pointed the same way. So when you get there, you can get out and there's no traffic and you know where to go. So,
However, let's just say that it may have taken us a time or two to get to that possible spot.
well, no, here's the other thing. Dub always drives.
I know.
So I don't drive. I just
Yes.
sit there, and even though I know where I'm going, I was like, I think I'll just take a
It's
walk.
not your fault that the airport can't figure out an easy way to direct us to where we're going. It's on them.
It really was.
It is.
It was me,
No,
but it's
on
okay.
them.
It's Memphis airport problem.
Yes. Better
But
signage,
in
please.
Memphis, that was so great. We were supposed to fly from Nashville, and Angela, she has Disney magic in her genes and her bones. She's like, hey, how about we just fly from Memphis? Well, we're like, sure. And then magically, she switches our flights, not even knowing my real first name.
That was a challenge. I wound up, Susie was at a hair appointment. Fran was at a work conference, and y'all did not need to be bothered. I wound up texting with Callie to find out who Susie actually is. I'm like, her name is not Susie. I've got to have her full name and her confirmation number to change her flight. But it gave us an extra 2 hours on Friday in the parks, and we got to fly out of Memphis.
So much better.
Easy, so easy.
My
Such a
brain
good
cannot rest until I've achieved the perfect plan.
Okay. So
you have
think we
achieved.
did.
You have achieved.
Did we park in the spot we were supposed to park?
Well, no, we didn't park the same one. We parked more expensive because Deb always goes the cheaper route. I just want the more expensive. It was actually closer.
And it was 5 degrees.
And it was
outside.
5 degrees, and we didn't have to walk very far. And then coming back, we had a little challenge, which this was amazing. You all every challenge worked out. My goal was to get the grandkids something that they would adore.
Yeah.
And so
It was a group effort, people.
I let them pick out something for Oliver, and it was a large train, which
fairy godmothers activate.
Yeah, it was 3 fairy godmothers getting that back because I was like, sure, I'll buy it. Didn't look at the price, didn't consider the size.
No, that never crossed my mind. I never once thought, how are we going to get this back? I was just like, yes, that child needs to have this.
Until we look like Zsa Zsa Gabor walking down Main Street in the park with all these bags, and we're like, we gotta fly home tomorrow.
So we did. We checked our luggage, which we don't do typically, but that worked. Angela got on first. She took care of the train. Magically, we even sat together on the way back.
Yeah.
Everything was magical.
I love that Disney, Angela probably knew this, but I remember at the little thing, we weren't inside of a store. What do you call those little where we bought the train? What would you call that?
Oh, like a little kiosk.
Like a little kiosk. Yeah, we were outside. And so you're buying the train, and maybe other things were in our hands that we'd bought. And the sweet girl that's working that kiosk, she said, we can ship that for you back. And so that is just another 1,000,001 reasons why Disney is so good at being Disney is they've thought of everything.
They can keep you spending that money with no excuses.
Oh,
they have thought of it
a
all.
little extra. We'll just ship that to you.
And so that was just like,
And you can scan it to your band, and it just magically gets paid for somehow.
Now, they do need to up their magic, because if they could have gotten it home before I got home.
Yeah, that was true.
That would have been
true.
good. But then they said 10 days, and I was like, no.
Yeah, those
grandkids
kids
aren't going to wait
no.
10 days.
But I just thought that was so nice. They've literally thought about everything. And so sweet little, what was the train called? What was the name of it?
It's the Mickey Runaway Train.
Mickey Runaway Train. It safely was in the overhead bin and rode beautifully.
It did.
On that flight
nothing
back
got
home.
smushed. It was great.
It's amazing. Okay, so we get to the hotel. And we immediately make a friend in the lobby and explain to her that we are there to celebrate Fran Thomas's birthday.
Yes.
That's so fun that they do that. And she just is like, oh, yes, absolutely. Because y'all know I was so afraid, they know that's not my real birthday.
But it was your birthday celebration.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you get this fun little button that says happy birthday, and then they write your name on it, and then you're required.
And then what happens when you wear that button?
Oh, my word. Everybody, everywhere, if they see that button, and it's not out of mandatory, they have to do it. They joyfully will say, happy birthday, Fran. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible.
How did that make you feel?
It's so sweet. And it doesn't feel weird, because I think in other places it could feel kind of strange, but because you're in Disney and it is the happiest place on earth, and everybody is so kind and so helpful and so happy all the time, then you just feel like an 8-year-old, this is so great. Everybody should experience that on their birthday. Go to Disney.
It's so interesting being in the bubble at Disney, and you don't feel weird wearing ears like we might have a little bit at the airport, or you don't everybody is the only expectation is act like a child and have fun.
Yeah. There were other people with buttons on that said first time visitor or something, and I thought that's so fun too. I wonder what they say to them. Have a great time.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Right.
So great. So great.
And then we got on, so we checked in at the Caribbean beach.
That's an on-property place for those of you that don't know anything about anything.
And you just put your little band up to the door.
Magic band.
Magically.
Susie just let us right in with her little magic band.
That's fascinating and fun too.
We found us a bus stop right outside. We stayed in Jamaica.
Okay. See, I didn't even realize that.
Jamaica man.
And we got on the bus, and Fran said, oh my goodness, they're playing music. And it was I love that you noticed that, because that's one of my personal favorites is when you're on that Disney bus, and whatever park you're headed to, they theme the music to go along with that. And then when you're coming back, they start playing the Caribbean style music, because you're going back to the Caribbean.
I didn't even
resort.
recognize that.
There's so many details.
All those details of excellence are just beautiful to me.
And because our flight had been moved up, I love the parade, and I did not think we would make it for the parade. And we walked in at 3:02, and the 3:00 parade had not even made it yet down Main Street. So as we're walking down Main Street, here comes the parade.
I'm telling you, it's now going back. I don't think I'll feel this way. But like even in that moment, it's like sensory overload, but not in a bad way. It's just so much to take in because you're trying to figure out like, well, what are all these buildings? Are they shops? Are they real stores, fake stores? And then you've got all the people that you're trying to like process, and then a parade and like rides, balloons and strollers everywhere. And you're just like, it's so much to take in that you're like, my brain is on like just hyperdrive. And it's just, but it's not like in a bad way. It's just is like, what the heck is even happening here? A parade? What?
Well, you know how many times we've talked about my overthinking insane brain and how it just never, I think that's part of the appeal to me, because when I'm there are so many things for my brain to lock in on that I don't think about the things that cause me stress.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Well, you're just completely lost.
You just get lost
You get
in it.
lost in the world of it. Susie, you've been before, right? How many times have you been, do you think?
That's a good question. Deb and I went on our honeymoon.
I love that.
And
Fun.
we took Callie, and then I went back when Callie was in high school, and then we took Betsy. So I think I've been 4 times.
Okay.
So when I go, I recognize all the things, and we
Yeah.
went a couple years ago with Betsy, so it's not that long ago, fresh. But I think I just look at like magic, and I love little children, and I love to see them and
Yeah.
see their faces, and
Yeah.
you can tell the little girls that have been to Bippity Boppity Boo with the little bun on their head and their little princess dress. And should we tell them our favorite T-shirt we saw the
Yeah.
whole time?
Oh, yeah.
Tell everybody where we ate.
Yes, where
dinner
did
that
we
night.
eat?
I don't know the name of it.
We
Angela.
ate it at Be Our Guest.
Okay.
It was at the Beast Castle. And if y'all have not been, it's hard to even describe.
Yeah.
They
The
have.
chandeliers are from France.
Oh,
Yeah.
and the ceilings are painted with the little cherubs, and there's a room where the snow falls on the other side of the glass windows, and there's the room where the petals fall off the rose and the storm happen. Just if you like that movie, never have seen that movie, you would be
No, you
impressed.
still like it. Yeah.
It's just amazing
Yeah.
and a great meal.
Yeah.
It's very yummy. Well, there was a little family sitting there, a mom, a dad, and a little girl that had been to Bippity Boppity Boo. And his shirt said, Bippity Boppity Broke. And we were like, oh my goodness, that's the best. And he smiled, and we're like,
Every
yes.
dad needs that
Yes.
shirt
Yes.
when they have a little princess in
They
tow.
do.
That,
That
Because you
really
and truly are broke, but
Yeah.
it was worth every penny.
He was grinning from ear to ear. He was okay with it. And that's also part of the fun, is just taking in what people have on and what they're wearing and stuff. It's amazing, truly.
Some of the mamas that you could tell they'd been in the parks a while, and they still looked so fabulous, and their children had on these little styled outfits. I thought we were the opposite of all that.
Yeah.
Like we might have had on a matching T-shirt once.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the family.
Are we going to talk about the ride? When people ask me what we
Absolutely.
rode, that this one is the only one that I can remember the name of.
okay.
And I think because it was first.
Yeah.
Everything past that, I'm like, the one that did this, or the one, they're like, what park were you in? I was like, I have no idea what park I was in with the other rides, except for this very first ride. Okay, so set the stage, Angela, for...
Okay, well, we got there. We watched the parade. We rode through Under the Sea with the Little Mermaid. That was just a
I don't
sweet
even
little
remember
way.
that.
We were in the little shell, and we rode through and saw the story of the Little Mermaid.
Oh, yeah,
Do you
yeah,
remember
yeah.
that? It was just
Yeah.
a little sweet. And
yeah,
then,
I'm not talking about that
then we
ride.
but then we got Mickey bars.
Yes.
While we contemplated our first big girl ride.
Okay, see, and I'm just like literally along for the ride. I don't even
Fran
know.
has no idea what's
No.
happening, which
No.
made it even better because
Right.
it was just like no expectation. So then we go to Tomorrowland,
Okay. Didn't
And
even
we-
realize that was what it was called.
and we put Fran on a ride called Tron.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a photo of Fran and Susie on Tron.
I cannot say
Amazing.
what I said.
No, it's okay. It just stays
It's
between
okay.
us.
It just
Okay.
stays between
Sometimes
us.
things just
But I
happen.
had no idea what we were getting on. And so it's a lot of the rides are, 2 people at a time. And there were some that we got to do all 3 of us. But this particular first ride, Susie and I were on like a motorcycle, like you're simulating some kind of motorcycle.
and it was dark and the music was ominous, unlike the Little Mermaid ride.
yeah, I mean,
Fran realized rather quickly.
Yeah, we've
this
shifted
ride
gears.
Was different.
yeah, this is full blown adult grown up ride. And Angela's behind us, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like slightly
anticipation.
yes, and like what is about to happen? And
Was there a countdown? They say something.
I don't know.
I think
maybe.
it was 3, 2, 1, and she was like, "What's going to happen?" And I was like, "Well, if we're counting backwards, girl, I think this is going to be fast.
You're about to find out.
I think we're about to
Yeah.
take off," and we did. It was
And that's
awesome.
when I said some words that I was like, the reality of, oh no.
Oh no, I
Here
can't get off.
we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
And if you haven't ridden Tron and you know what it is, you know what we're talking about. If you don't know what Tron is and you get to go back to Disney, I highly recommend the ride.
And I wanted to ride it after dark because I heard, how great it was. And it was just so cool because part of it's outdoors and
Yeah.
part of it's indoors.
Did we do that after?
I think so.
We did?
Remember, we came out and we're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we can see all the people."
Yeah.
Then we came back.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I
It all
remember.
just runs right together.
Mhm.
And then,
does.
let's see, then what did we do?
What did we do that night
Then-
after dinner?
Then we went to see the Philhar Magic, the cute little 3D show, and the Laugh Floor Comedy Club.
Yeah, that was cute.
fun. I still can't believe they didn't use our joke. We
They
were
should
funny.
have.
You
We
get
had
to
great
submit
jokes.
jokes, and we had some really good jokes.
Well, of course we did.
I can't remember any of them.
No,
now.
I can't either.
But in the moment, I thought nobody's funnier than us.
Well,
We'll
and
make
you-
the show.
You need to make sure, says the person that really doesn't know what she's talking about. But looking back, it's helpful to have those spots during your day where you can just sit for a minute.
Yeah.
Kind of a regroup,
Yes.
because I did feel like at some point, and I know we jotted this down because it was the honest truth. I don't know if it was that day or another day. I felt like everything in my body had been rattled.
That was
My-
the next day.
Okay, then but clearly by the next
We're
day,
like, feels like I shook something loose.
yeah, all of it had been shook loose. My brain, my stomach.
We had been up since early in the morning.
Yes.
It was a very long day. So I recognized that we didn't need to ride I can't even talk.
Would
Ride Tron a second time. We needed to just kind of decompress.
I needed that
a
comedy
minute.
club.
So we sat in some dark theaters and enjoyed a few shows and just got our bearings back about us, and it was
Well,
great.
one of the things I think about this trip, people say, "How was it?" I was like, "Amazing perfection, all the things." And I'm like, "Why?" But I was like, it flowed so well, and it flowed to our vibe. So if we needed just to move on over to the restroom, if we needed a little drink, or if we needed an ice cream bar,
Or
that's
a
what we
pretzel
did.
that was
Or-
extremely large.
Yes, and we ate
Yes.
it all, and whatever. It
Yeah.
just worked, and no one was like, "Oh, okay, we got to go," or it
Right.
was just all on the same kind of
Right.
timetable. And Fran and I just went wherever.
Right.
It was
Oh.
like
That was the one
magical, wonderful. Oh well, let's go here, and oh well, let me work this out. Angela has to be the best lawyer in all of the world.
Yes.
because she can magically make everything
Anything.
happen.
Yeah.
So I can never go back without her.
Oh.
Ever.
That
For
was
sure.
my motive. I have job security. I
Oh,
get to go on
well,
all your trips.
oh.
Because even though everything was well planned, and some people are going to approach a trip like that very well planned, but sometimes the plan shifts. Like we were not always on time. Like when we ate dinner at the Beast, whatever it's called, Castle, we were late by about 30 minutes or so. And it was so sweet. Let me just say this too about another little Disney detail that you love. And I missed it until you tell me. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I caught that. I just missed it. But we walked up and we were late. And so like me, I'd have been like, oh, well, we're late. Like we missed it. But Angela knew to go up and, say, hey, we missed our reservation by 30 minutes. What do we need to do or whatever? And the sweet little girl that's working, that's taking the reservations, checking people in or whatever, she goes, let me call Mrs. Potts and see what we need to do. And that went right over my head because I'm still in that hyper aware mindset of I'm just trying to take it all in about what we're doing. And then y'all both turn around and you're like, she said Mrs. Potts. But they're so accommodating. Anytime we miss something and you knew to, try to navigate that and not just walk away and go, oh, well, we missed that. Like, yeah, you were able to help fix, adjust anything that we missed.
I love it.
Well, I think
just
if
love it all so much.
that's one good thing, like very planned, but very flexible.
Yes.
A flexible changing. Many times Angela would say, now, if we need to rest or if we need to change.
Yeah.
And we just fluidly did
Yeah.
all of the things. And I don't think ever felt exhausted or overwhelmed or tired, or it It was magical.
Y'all reap the benefits of a lot of trial and error in getting me to that place, because there were times with my family I was like, no, you can't stop at the bathroom. No, you can't buy a sweatshirt. No, you're not getting a Mickey bar. Go, go, go. But you learn, like, the whoever's having the meltdown, that's the pace that you match. Like whoever has a need, that's you change everything and go to that person. And
so
it
good
works.
for you families out there thinking
Yes.
Disney. So that's so wise. That right there is wise.
Are they that flexible all the time? Or like if anybody, is that just how they respond?
They try to be. Now, if you have a Tron, lightning lane that, you only have an hour to come back, they try to give you a window, a little bit of a grace period on the front end or the back end.
Okay.
Some of those passes you can come anytime after, but it's never guaranteed. It's always kind of unspoken. With restaurants, usually it's around 30 minutes. Y'all notice I was like, we're with the birthday girl and the ride took longer. I gave them pick your A, B, C, D, or E reason why you should let us come eat here, because you want us in your restaurant because we're going to make it better.
Yeah.
I was just like, Fran's here and it's her birthday. Please let us in. But when you're
Do you not know that we have a podcast and we're going to come back and talk about this?
Don't you know who we are?
I mean, come on.
I know. So then we go to the fireworks dessert party.
Yeah.
Which I really wanted Fran to get to experience, because if you've not done this, it is an add-on. It's not cheap, but I think it's so worth it, because you're not crowded in with everybody else watching the fireworks. You get to spread out a little bit, and you get fabulous desserts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun.
And I think too, like we've said this, but they're called Imagineers. So anybody that is doing anything, creating the magic at Disney, whether that's developing a new ride or the entertainment of the fireworks and what is projected, or however they do that onto the castle, you literally just stand there in amazement, because you're not just watching fireworks, you're watching an entire production of something that is absolutely incredible.
They laser, I guess it's lasers, onto the castle, like an animated.
No idea.
How do they do that? It's
I don't
like
know.
watching a movie, but it's on the castle, but you can see the
scene.
graphics and the scenes
and then the music.
And the music.
Disney music is amazing, and you recognize it, then you see it, and it tells the story.
Yes.
And then Tinkerbell, Tinkerbell flew over.
I know.
It's not unlike any other, like, just fireworks.
And every part of the park, like we said so many times, like somebody's focus is just this. Somebody's focus within that area is just merchandise. Somebody's focus is all the people that are actually working and what they say and how they respond to you and how cute they look. And like, there's
nobody ever says no, or that's not my department,
or roll
I
their
can't
eyes.
Help you with that. They're always looking for a way to serve.
It's incredible. It really does make you think about what you do back home and, how we all need to take it up a notch.
So because they were so incredible, we went to Town Hall on our way out and left some cast compliments.
Yeah, I love that. See, that
That's
to
so
me is
sweet.
also just amazing. Absolutely amazing that you can do that.
Yeah.
And the guy that was selling us popcorn, and it was so sweet. And we were talking to him, and Angela goes, "Oh, what's your name? So I can give you a guest, a compliment." And he was so cute. He was like, "Yes," so excited. And I was like, "Oh, that's so precious."
Wouldn't you? I want to see what happens. Do you know what happens when you pay a compliment to somebody?
It's part of their personnel file. And,
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure this is right. I know they used to, like at meetings, they would read them out loud.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
recognize them. It's just positive reinforcement. And it's such a
Listen.
great model. It costs the company nothing.
Right.
It makes you saw his reaction.
he was so cute.
This kid in Germany was over the moon, and all his buddies were a little bit jealous that they
Yeah.
weren't the ones giving us popcorn, because we
That's
were
right.
giving out compliments. But
Well, and it's a
so
genuine
sweet.
motivation to serve well,
Yes.
to be kind, to love the customers well.
calling out the good you see.
And that has to be difficult at times.
That's right, because they're
people-
not always
'Cause
in a
some
good
people
mood.
are- yeah.
And
People
people-
expect the magical,
Yes.
perfect
Right.
vacation,
Right.
and it's not
Right.
always going to happen that way.
Right.
And then the passes that we wound up not wanting to ride a water ride. Tiana's, we didn't want to get wet because it got cold. We didn't want to ride another roller coaster because we ate too much for dinner and decided not to. They refunded that money back to me.
Yeah.
They didn't have to do that.
Right.
No.
It's so good.
So then that girl, I was like, what's your name? I'm giving you a compliment.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was just fun
That's
to
awesome.
just be like the little compliment giver. Okay. So the next day we get on the Skyliner
Mm-hmm.
and go to Epcot.
Mm.
And we rode another ride.
We did.
That
What was it?
so much fun.
What was it, Epcot?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
And which
That
one was
was
that?
so-
Explain
That
it to
was
me real quick.
The rock and roll one. We
Oh.
had, what was our song? We had
What was our song?
One Way or Another.
One way or another. That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Gardens of the Galaxy. Yes, we stood outside and it was kind of that thing behind us. Yeah. I remember that now. Okay.
That's when you got off and Fran said, we just shook some stuff
Yes,
loose.
took some stuff loose. Oh God, were we wearing 3D glasses for that one or no?
Not on
no.
that one.
Okay.
That's the one where we met Jacob from Arkansas.
Oh
Helped
yeah,
us with
yeah,
that one.
yeah,
But
yeah.
Fran was like, between our bladders, our brains, and our stomachs, some things have been
Just
shook loose.
good
on this
gosh,
ride.
and you feel like I just woke up and dang alive.
And then we went and rode Soarin', where we flew over the world.
That's
neat. That was a
amazing.
good one.
Absolutely amazing. Again, how do they do that? How do they create that?
Who thinks this
Imagineers.
stuff
We
up?
just went around the world.
I mean, we
We just
did.
sat right there and there. We're around the world.
You said, Susie, that we wish that it would told you.
Yes.
I mean, I think you kind of know,
Yeah,
but it would have been nice to certain places that you're like, where are we?
Okay.
We saw some places you've been. Egypt.
Yeah, that was fun.
Fran was like, I rode a camel right there.
Rode a camel,
Like,
and
how
there's
many people can say that?
Well, and there's a
And
Pizza
there was a
Hut
guy,
right across the
Pizza Hut
street.
across the street. They didn't see that, but there it is.
But there it is. And then one of my highlights again was Farmer Fran meeting Farmer Mickey.
That was so
For
cute.
lunch.
Y'all, that lunch.
That was so good.
I'm still talking about that lunch.
turkey, mashed
That-
We
potatoes,
put away some cornbread.
cornbread was a popular item on the menu
Big
that
apple
week.
pie with a big
Yeah.
old scoop of ice cream.
It was good.
Fran got a birthday dessert.
All those
yes.
characters. So the little restaurant kind of it's a very slow, subtle rotation. And what's the name of the restaurant?
Garden Grill.
Garden Grill. And so we sit down and it's like family style serving of food, right? And so the characters just, walk around that circle. But we were there for so long that I felt like those poor little characters came by 20 times and they're like, oh God, I've got to, wave and be cute and smile. And I just saw them.
And you found another chip.
Oh,
Yeah, that's so.
sure
Listen,
did.
I don't know the difference. So, what was the difference? How did you know it was Chip?
Chip has a brown nose like a chocolate chip.
It's like a chocolate chip.
Chip
Okay,
and Dale. So
Yeah.
we met Chip and Dale.
Yeah.
And then
because I thought
Pluto.
they looked identical.
Well, their noses are different. Otherwise, they're identical. And Pluto and Farmer Mickey and his little farmer overall.
Listen, my favorite. Like, I wish we could have done that little boat ride that we did after that. That takes you through. I don't know how you would explain it, but it's where they are growing all kinds of things, not just food or vegetation that they use within the park. I may be making a total assumption there, but I found that absolutely fascinating. I told Carl Snyder, I was like, that was one of my favorite rides because I love learning about stuff like that.
They have a tour
Oh,
called Behind the Scenes
I would
instead
do
of Behind the
that.
Scenes. And you can actually go
Yeah.
on a walking tour and they go real. That
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
needs to be on your bucket list.
just fascinating.
There's always so much more
Mm.
than you could ever do. Okay, so the next day, I don't know what we did that night. Oh no, we didn't. This is still the same day. We went to Animal Kingdom.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
We got on a bus. Yeah, we're not done.
And
We're
we
still
went to-
running
we
around
went on a
parks.
s-
We
we
had
went on a
like
safari.
5,000 million steps this day. We saw the bird show when we walked in. Tell them about the bird show.
The tree at the Tree of Life.
Tree of
You've
Life.
seen that photo. That's where everybody has their picture made. And you just happened to say, Susie, do you want to come up and
Watch,
do we want to
yeah.
watch this? But
I've never noticed that before. And if
wow.
Susie hadn't said something, we would have. Susie
Missed
said
it.
so.
Susie said so. Well, what's so interesting is wherever they are, they just fly around like they're free birds. You think, oh, they're fine. And one took a little longer because they kept saying, well, he'll come when he's ready, and did. And they just fly over your head. And they're beautiful and they're gorgeous. And there's so many of them. I don't remember
at
what kind of
first I
birds.
thought it was fake
No.
because it was like they were so on cue that I thought that those aren't real birds, like for a half a second. But then when they fly over your head and they land on wherever it is they're
Right.
landing
The
on,
people
you're like,
next to you are holding a pole 5 feet from
Yeah.
your head, and that's
And they
where the
just
birds
land there and they just feed them a little something, a little snack. And it was, they're incredible.
that was cool.
That was a good, just, hey, we're here at the right time.
And every park I mean, I know that if you've been to Disney 1,000 times, you know what I'm saying, but every park is so different. Every park is so unique in what it looks like, how it feels, what it offers you, the pace of it. You know, it's just all so beautifully done. It's all very intentional and well thought out that you just go. And that's also part of the, I don't know, it's not exhaustion. It's just the taking in of, it's just such a shift that you're like, okay, I kind of got acclimated here, and then now you're taking in something completely brand new. But it's all
overload.
Well, but it's all good.
It's good.
Yeah, it's not hard. It's
almost like you go around the world.
Yeah,
we have a copy around the world, and over it when we got to Magic Kingdom, we kind of, you're out in Africa. You're all that. It's just like, where am I now? Am I really just in Florida?
Yeah,
it takes you to all different places.
Yeah, and you do feel like you're in a bubble.
Well, and again, I've been several times. I learn something new every time. I do something different every time. While y'all were somewhere getting coffee, I don't know. Y'all went somewhere, and I went to talk to this sweet, helpful cast member named Megan. And I just said, we weren't supposed to be here until tomorrow, but since it's raining, potentially Monday, we decided to come today, or I don't know. I just strike up a conversation, and I was like, by any chance, could we move our passes from, which, at this point, passes are sold out for Flight of Passage. Can we move our passes from tomorrow to today? And she said, let me see if I can make some magic happen. So Megan gets on her little iPad, and sure enough, she's like, could you ride in 1 hour? I said, absolutely. So we didn't have to, we were shifting our plans around based on an 80% rain storm thing. And Susie kept saying, just pray the rain away. And I was thinking, okay, Susie, we'll pray for it, but it looks like it's going to rain. Susie's prayers were answered because she had all the faith and I had very little. But how great of heart. Like, she did not have to do that, and she moved that for us. So always ask.
What ride was this?
That was the Avatar Flight of Passage.
Oh, gosh. Yes. Okay.
So that is my favorite.
That's wild.
Times. Yes.
Absolutely. I could ride that again. Again, you're just like trying to take it all in, and then it's over, and you're like, what was that?
Just happened?
I need to do that again.
Allison Butler says that's the closest she's seen to being in the Garden of Eden.
It's beautiful.
I'm like, that is the perfect way to describe it. It's beautiful. Everywhere you turn, you're just in paradise. But before we did that, we wound up, we found ourselves in the middle of an African street dance
Yes,
party.
we did.
We did.
Walked right on into it.
Started dancing.
And it's so funny because we literally just like entered, we're walking towards it. And it was just some African people singing music, dancing and stuff. And Susie goes, let's dance. And I was like, okay.
Susie said so. So you look to your right, and there's some dad out there busting a move, and you look to the left, and there's somebody's kids busting a move, and then here's Mickey and Minnie and Goofy busting a move, and they called us out on stage.
I think they did.
Yeah.
They were like, hey Minnie, hey Mickey, hey Goofy, and we're like, oh, we just got to shout out.
That was cute. That was
fun.
Cute.
So we just danced that much more.
Yeah, it was so fun.
It was so fun. And then we went on the safari.
Yeah, that was great.
Hey, y'all, that giraffe, I thought it was going to come in.
Were you scared?
No, I was so excited. I was
right
like,
next to you.
Yes. I was like, I could almost touch you. Of course, the driver's like, I think we need to go. But that was incredible.
Close.
I've never been that close.
Well, he walked towards us. I mean, like we're in our little safari bus thing, and we're moving, and he starts moving with us, and but coming towards us on your
Susie
side.
to be his friend.
I think he did.
And I was like, oh, law.
Hey, friend.
Hey, you whip that phone out. We got some cute video
we
about
saw
it.
a baby elephant.
Oh, so cute.
We saw lots of good animals.
We learned that a crocodile eats half his body weight one time a week.
Well,
that's good. That's what we felt
That's
like.
what we did. I
except
swear
for
we did.
every day, though.
Well, yeah, every day.
Not
and I
once
was
a
like, I'm
week.
so hungry. And I would eat and then eat again and then just eat some more because so
Carbs were our friend.
Yes, they were.
Oh.
Mickey pretzels for the win.
so
I think
good.
that was dinner that night. We rode the Avatar ride. And then we got the big old pretzel. Two
That pretzel.
pretzels.
Listen, I was like, I just needed, every time like I just felt disoriented, I was like, give me bread.
Or salt. Give me salt.
I wanted some bread, some salt, some cornbread.
And it worked.
And it worked. And that pretzel dang, we pulled that thing out of the bag and it was as big as your computer screen. It was
Bread
just
of
like,
life.
and we're like, you know how you do? You're like, I'm not going to eat all this. Well, we did.
We sure did. We put away
It's like, I don't want one. No, you'll get one. And then I was like, let me have a bite. Another bite.
So the plan originally, in all of our optimism, was 3 parks in one day. But we decided to go back to the resort, and that's where it ended.
Yeah.
So, which was fun because one of my other favorite memories from the trip, I was telling my kids about this last night. We're all just kind of sprawled out on the bed trying to figure out what just happened because there's no tired like Disney tired. And then next thing I know, Susie jumps up in the bed in between Fran and I and is like, okay, girls, we're watching Grumpy Grannies. And I was like, what?
I'm like, what are we? What?
All right. It is the best Bluey episode ever. So if you watch Bluey or if your kids watch Bluey or if you don't watch Bluey or if you don't even know what Bluey is, go find Bluey and watch the Grumpy Grannies episode. It is so good.
What did you say, Angela? I'm not going to be able to. I hope you're going to know what I'm talking about.
I was Disney delirious.
No, it's like you know, because there's such subtle like jabs and humor but you're like, well, it's like a kid gets to cuss because they say, oh, biscuits.
Oh yeah, yes. Atlas will say, oh, biscuits.
Yeah.
And then what's the other thing they say?
Was it hooray?
Yes. Atlas, all the time he'll say, hooray. Found myself just whatever we're doing. Hooray.
So here we were, all 3 of us laid up on the bed.
Middle-aged women with
That's
no
right.
children watching all the Bluey. And the grandbabies were impressed.
They were. And what did Callie say? We text her and she put the first thing she's like, you got to watch Grumpy Grannies. I was like, see, I'm telling you, it's the best one.
So if you're listening and you just need to impress a small child, just say, hey, do you watch Bluey? Have you seen the Grumpy Grannies? They'll really think you're something.
Oh, so
okay,
funny.
so we got lots of good rest that night. We ate dinner at the resort. We saw the fireworks from our little food court. It was great. And then we got the next morning, took the Skyliner to Epcot.
This was rain day.
Yes.
It wasn't bad.
No.
There was a little rain, but not bad.
We were fine.
The key with Disney in the rain is just have your rain jacket, have an umbrella,
Go.
and go. Keep going. Because it didn't feel like it. It's not like it shuts down.
And other people don't go.
That's right.
They're sleeping in and we're having all the fun.
Yeah.
So we went to France.
Yeah.
Fran
I lucked
got a
out.
crepe.
What did I get? Ham
A
and cheese crepe.
crepe.
It was so good, y'all. Not what I was expecting. I was expecting something much smaller, and I was like, oh, my. Excuse me, y'all, while I stand here and eat this.
We created a table.
Oh, we did? Yes.
It was so good.
It was good.
So good. We rode the Ratatouille ride.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
so
so
cute.
cute. And you think like those little kid rides, you think, oh, that's not going to be fun or that's going to only be for the kid. But no, it's so cute. And they literally make it for everybody to enjoy.
They do. They do.
There were some little kids. There was one. What was the little girl on the ride that we were worried about her? Not that ride.
Oh, she did Avatar.
The Avatar.
And she looked like she was like,
she was a tiny little
she was a
thing.
little, and we were like, can you ride this
I
ride?
know. And you think, so it's both ways. Like the little kids are riding the bigger adult rides, and then we're riding the little kid rides, but it's also equally good.
And it was so fun watching Susie be the magical fairy godmother for all the kids around us.
Yeah.
Susie found more creative ways to have opportunities to make somebody stay better, whether it was, oh, here, let me take a photo for y'all so you can all be in it, or here, let me, I don't know. Susie, you were just all over the place. And Fran and I were just grinning going, oh, that's our girl. Look at her making magic happen.
Yes,
This is so fun.
Absolutely.
So fun.
sweet.
Okay, so at Epcot, my immaturity is about to show, but we went to the Festival of the Arts.
Yes.
The abbreviation is farts.
Yes.
And I just think that's funny.
Would you have known that if they didn't tell us that on the bus?
No, probably
Okay.
not.
Okay. Have you been there during that time
No,
before?
I have not. I've been to the they have a food and wine festival in the fall, and they have a flower and garden in the spring that I love.
bet that's
and we used
really
to always
pretty.
go spring break and work in a Braves game, and that was always the flowers at Epcot. They make topiaries of all
I
the
can't
characters.
imagine.
It's
Literally
out of this
cannot
world.
imagine.
Stunning. But the arts festival was really impressive. Thomas Kincaid had displays. We saw, I don't know how many painters had just.
I
And
wish
we
we
were
could
in
have.
a painting.
We were.
Sure
We were in a painting. We have a picture. Maybe you can put that in
Yeah.
the notes. But
In
we were in
France.
that. Yes, we were.
Look at us.
I know.
I wish we could have walked around more. Like, I understand when people say, oh, I love Epcot, you could spend an entire day plus just walking around, taking it all in, because it's just so much. But Epcot's just as cool. I loved it too.
And the we talked about Germany. The caramel popcorn is
Werther's.
out of
Werther's
this world.
candy, and then apparently they make popcorn.
And it,
We bought that bag. We each got a bag, started it, like nibbled on it a little bit that night, and then the next day on the way home, I was like, this popcorn is so much better on the way home. Once it's settled a
It
little
got
bit.
better the next day, for sure.
Yeah.
And then we took the Skyliner to Hollywood Studios.
awesome.
Our photographer, Hannah from Maryville, Tennessee. How precious
Yeah,
was she?
she those
was.
photographers that at the parks, they're so good at what they do. Any good picture that was shared in our Instagram stories was from one of them.
And so it's really worth it. You do have
Yes.
to pay. It's a little add-on, but
It is worth
you
it.
are not, you know how if there's three, everybody wants to be in the picture, then you got the selfie. You could take a selfie stick,
Yeah.
but this way they get like good shots. And they're doing that all day, and then they add a little magic sometimes.
Yeah, that's
in
fun.
the
I
photo.
didn't know. Like the first time we did that, and the photographer says, "Okay, everybody look to the right," and on the count of three,
surprised.
be surprised. And I'm like, "Oh my god, what?"
Yeah.
Like I had no idea that they're creating, adding a little magical image into that photo, and then you're just like, "This is so cute. This is so worth it.
Yeah.
So cute."
So
Because
many
that's what you have when you come back.
Yeah, listen, Angela made us a little magnet.
She made us a magnet.
But it's
so
not the
cute.
magic photo. It's just a cute photo that a photographer took.
It's just so cute.
It's
Yeah.
just cute.
Okay, Angela, we got 5 more minutes.
Okay, so just real quick, we did Star Tours. We did Toy Story Midway Mania.
Listen,
The
I'm drawing a
arcade game.
complete blank
The
on all
arcade
the-
game.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah. Oh,
you
yeah.
beat me.
Yeah.
You have to shoot at things like from your
Yes.
boat, and it's turning around and moving.
I liked that
That
game.
was cool.
I liked that ride.
And Angela had the high score in hers.
I
Yeah.
sure did. I best one out of one.
There you go.
It was cute. And then, we ate at the 50s Primetime Cafe.
Yes, the
let's
best
do it
fried
again.
chicken in all the
Good
world.
food.
Total time capsule throwback.
It was fun if you're like of our generation because you do feel like you're back there in Leave It to Beaver, Andy Griffith, all of those just classic black and white shows that you're just like, oh, or your grandmother even. You know, it's so sweet.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did some shopping. And then Lauren at the resort from Idaho was so kind, tried to help us figure out how to get all of Susie's fun souvenirs home.
And see, that's just
precious.
another thing. Like
Yes.
everybody's helpful, everybody's kind. I mean, she went out of her way to help us get the train, the sweatshirts, all the stuff
Absolutely.
back. She wanted to help and just does it joyfully. Such a sweet example.
Well, what was your highlight? What was how you expected it to be, or not what you expected, or what will you remember?
Oh, I think
I know
just
it's a lot.
it is a lot. And I don't know that I could identify like one thing, but I think we've already said this, but just being a few days home from the trip, I think what I love and just appreciate is it's not just an escape, but it's not just a fun escape. It's just good because the people that work there are good. The food is good. Like everything that you encounter, we never had to wait horribly in line for a bathroom. Like everything you did was good. And so you don't feel stressed or tired from like dealing with they were mean or, the food was terrible. Like if you're tired and stressed, it's just because you've gone all day long and all night long. So it's just the whole experience. I don't know how you could go and have a bad time. I really don't.
The people that don't plan, that
Well,
stand in line for
yeah,
2 or 3 hours.
no, I
don't
can't do that.
I know.
I can't do. And Susie and I said 1,000 times, like, I would not go back without a lightning lane pass because we got a little rotten and spoiled.
Yeah, we would walk past the 5-mile line
Oh.
of people, and Fran was like, "I'm so sorry."
No, and
Fran
every
was
time
apologizing
I'm
to
like,
the
I'm not doing that.
No, not with me. You're not. We're not waiting in line.
Oh.
We're gonna achieve the no waiting.
No, and I like that. I think too, like if you're thinking about Disney and you've never been, then absolutely reach out to Angela, and she can help you begin to help you plan. Because if I stepped into that unplanned, I would be frustrated.
Yeah.
I would be stressed.
I've spent years researching this. I'm
so
on
I don't
apps
advise
and
that.
chat rooms
I don't advise that because it's just so much. It's so much, and you don't want to spend your whole day, waiting in lines to ride a ride, and then you're like, But anyway, reach out to Angela and let her help you begin to navigate some kind of planning for a Disney trip.
I'm not a travel agent, but I can play one on TV.
Absolutely.
Susie,
You're
what did
better
you
than a travel agent.
What did you love about it? What will you remember about this trip?
What will I remember? I will remember that I went to a volleyball game and sat down beside of Angela, and she said, "Hey, I'm taking Fran to Disney for her birthday. Do you want to go?" I was like, Surely you should go. Yeah, come on, go. I was like, if you say it one more time, I'm going. She said it one more time. But here's the thing. And I've been several times. It's so magical. But the magic was with y'all.
Oh.
That was more the magic than anything. So think about this, ladies. If you have two besties and they're going somewhere and they're like, hey, why don't you come with us? And you're like, okay. And then you're like a bestie. It was never like there's three and somebody's out. I felt like the whole time it was like this love fest and we just had the best time and laughed. And Angela's thing where she said you go by the pace of whoever needs, like if you need a break. Y'all, we went to the bathroom just on cue. I never had to say I need to go. With my people, I'm always like, where's the bathroom? It was just like, oh, we all need to go. Let's all go to the bathroom. Let's all eat. Let's all do this. It was beautiful. And I overbought and bought wrong and so much. And they're like, it's okay. We all got invested with loving and helping each other.
Yeah.
And so it was, I mean, I've taken the kids. I love taking the grandkids. I love seeing what they want to do. But it was just the love and the friendship. And I will never, ever, ever get over that. I will always treasure that time.
Oh, it's
So
the
sweet.
best. We had the best time.
I wanted Fran to feel like a little kid.
Oh,
Celebrating her birthday. That's
Oh.
what Susie and I talked about, and I think we accomplished. We
Well-
didn't skip, but we did everything.
No, we didn't
else.
skip. Maybe a couple times we skipped.
I think we did skip. I think there was some skipping.
Maybe there was skipping involved.
There
the
was a few
joy of
skips.
Disney is the little kid, but then there's the joy of just getting to do it together that you're like, listen, you two could say, hey, let's go to wherever. And I'd be like, absolutely, I'm going.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care.
No,
Because
we
it
would
was-
have fun. We had
yes.
fun in the room. There was fun had everywhere.
100%.
There was fun on the Skyliner. There was fun everywhere. There
Yeah.
was not like, oh, this is. And like our drive even back from the airport to that, I was like, yo, when did our house get like 2 minutes from the airport?
Right. Right.
I mean, we were just like,
Yeah.
well, here we are.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's
but the
all
sad thing
good.
is, we had to come home.
I know.
If you believe that Disney is only for kids, that's wrong. And also, even if it's, low budget, middle budget, higher budget, whatever, plan something if you can in January or February that involves some sunshine.
Y'all, it was
Even if it's a long
73 degrees
weekend,
there.
There is no way to describe how it felt to go from 5 degrees here and then be in the sunny 70-degree weather, like for our brains. I think just along with everything else, that was
We didn't
remarkable.
even really complain about the little bit of humidity that we felt.
That y'all got to experience my Disney hair. And a few of y'all listening know
thought it was
exactly what that means. Ain't nobody ready for that.
Oh,
My whole
y'all.
family and my family text, I was like, y'all pray for Fran and Susie. They're seeing what y'all see my hair do here. And they were like, oh, gosh.
That's a sign of a good time.
Good time.
A sign of a good
So
time.
much fun.
Yes,
So fun.
y'all, if you have questions about Disney, definitely reach out. If you don't follow us on Instagram, find us on Instagram. There's a highlight there of Disney, so you can get caught up if you didn't see it. And we'll post some pictures for sure with this episode. But anyway.
And next time we'll talk about Hold Fast because the three of us and Susanna get to be with the ladies in Newbern this Saturday, and that's going to be so sweet and precious.
Yeah.
So if you're coming, we can't wait to see y'all.
I know.
If you're not coming, we'll talk about it. We'll recap it. Stay tuned.
All right, everybody, we love you so much. Thanks for listening. Y'all have a great day. Oh, we love you guys. And I'm not even joking. If you've got questions about Disney, Whether you're going for the very first time or you're going for the 100th time, I'm not kidding you. Reach out to Angela Snyder. She makes the trip so very magical. All right, you guys. We love you so much. Have a fantastic week. We'll see you next time.